Hello, this is Adria Crackyadelia. Haven't named the video yet, but I just wanted to touch on what had been supposedly happened. The 13 packages to the Democrats, and then the so-called shooting at the synagogue, which, yeah, just to save face. I can't say whether yes or no, but the track record of the mainstream media has me pretty disenchanted by now, and I pretty much don't believe, and I have no reason to believe anything that they say. So I'm maintaining my own integrity until I ever see proof or saw it with my own two eyes. That's how I'm rolling. Got it. Oh yeah, so back to the Rome, the church before Rome, yeah. Had all those things going on. French, the French fighting the British and wanting to go back to the homeland. So it's been this homeland thing has been around. I don't know if it's based on real truth or just a story told in a different way that's been told for centuries, that or thousands of years in many civilizations. But it's still a problem today, and so many believers. They got all this chaos in that area, and I despise Israel so much, the government, that well, and our own people. They let them they got their claws into our government, and they're doing all the foreign policy. If it's not obvious by now, you better wake the hell up. So, well, things are been quiet. Is it quiet before the storm, or they're not? I know they're bombing Yemen, and really bringing it to those people. My heart goes out to them. Just out of plain old humanity that I have to remind myself to try to strive for. You know, I want to get sucked into the war. I don't want to get. I mean, I did a long time ago. I got sucked into the war. Started digging and digging. And it was hard to understand. A lot of rehashing over and over. And I still have trouble understanding. Trying to put your finger on it. But I learned a lot, man, through the digging and different points of view. So I think all in all, it's been a good experience, and it's been a painful experience. Kind of, you hate to think everything you grow up knowing is a lie, and when you got the information available, that's the other thing. When I going back to gematria, and symbolism. Going back to that, well, you have this whole different language that can be used to communicate with other members of. There are many groups, similar, different names, similar systems, I'm assuming. Um, Using symbolism, gematria, to plan ahead. And so the ancients also, and astrology, that's why I went back to gematria. Astrology, the precise placements of the bodies of the solar system on those days, those years, and correlating. So, like when the Indians, they would send the elders go to Chaco Canyon. If I, sorry if I didn't get it correct, and they had their, it was at the equinox, and could tell if the Earth was out of balance by misalignment of the stars, the planets. They had created a signpost to measure by, to let them know if things were in balance. So, and then we get to the elite. As far as material, we had two different systems. We had the spiritual and the non-material, and then we had the material and somewhat spiritual, well, based on the Bible. And there are many good people, no doubt. And both sides have been lied about. Yes, and there's their group that calls themselves something that are, but they are not. I'd say so, most likely, yes. That's a scripture. I can't toss the whole Bible out. I can't toss it all out. But then I could say, then somebody will say, well, I'm using that verse to justify what anger. Well, you have a right to be. How many generations are you going to pay their way for something that did not happen in Germany? You're going to pay their way the rest. How many generations? I don't get it. And then now you got boys dying over there, and they're milking us dry by the trillions now in this adventure, the Greater Israel Project. It just disgusts the hell out of me. I don't get it, Polly. So now the spiritual non-material folks understood the astrological alignments, and they had meaning. And would they go back and tell their people? Probably not either. It kept it within the elders. Uh, and same thing with the elite the elite secret fraternal orders. They can use astrology too, gematria, and so they plan accordingly. And they don't let anybody else know. It's up to you to try to go and understand it, and then convince somebody that's what's going on. I guess. I mean, I remember TV shows. They would always mention it. How the sailors use the stars and all that stuff to navigate, and the Egyptians with Orion and the pyramids and the alignments, Mayans, etc., etc. But what I recollect is they're saying that that's a loss. We don't do that, and we do that. Everybody's got a clock or a watch. Um, Obsession with time, but yeah, they would never mention. Of course, there are groups that have power and they use those methods so that they can get what they want done without anybody knowing. They can stay on the down low because members throughout the justice system and throughout, yeah, they most importantly, justices, lawyers, judges, like I said, and they make their oaths. Yeah, and the fake ones are greatly represented at the top of this pyramid. They call themselves what they are not. You know what I mean, Paulie? What can you do about it? Oh, I gotta still use the currency. I still use the currency. I don't have a bank account. I'm not paying taxes. I did serve 2.5, just under 2 years in the Navy, and I fucked that up. It was a good experience. Till you find out, till you find out who the fuck you're working for, right? Who the frick you working for? Yeah, so I put. This is how the MSN works. They use a gematria on the astrology down to the phase of the damn moon. Remarkable. They got to hand it to them. Yeah, it's very old. And I assume they've been doing it for centuries before today's technology. And even when they were ran out of countries, well, that probably suited them too because it created chaos and something to capitalize on, perhaps. There's always something to capitalize on in chaos, right? No, that's it. Just call them the devil's children. Just plain old imposters. This based in the three Abrahamic religious paradigm that we are living in the age of Pisces. The two fish in the Pope's hat with the fish. So, what will the next age bring? Well, Age of Aquarius. Well, according to the elite's plans, they're not shy. I guess you got the George Guidestones. You got the possibly harmful GMO. A big cancer industry. One hand washes the other. One hand washes the other. And so, that's where they got us. With a target on our back because everybody hates us over here. Be a lot of enemies now. And whites are getting the blame, I guess. While the fake ones are running, pulling the strings and got all the power and the political system. They got all that. And they're Anglo-white Saxon, Armenian, Christian Zionists. Yeah, they're totally greedy, just out of control. Not totally 100% brainwashed. Would not turn down a dollar from no one. And, that's the profession of politician. It's become a profession. It's not there to solve problems. If not create more, which obviously it's going to create more. Got to keep your line of work open. Right? Yeah, we got... This guy's always been in politics, though. He's done it. See, Trump, he's been in 60 Minutes. He's always been in politics, TV. Yeah, definitely. Definitely caught out of those same mold. Absolutely. These people are groomed. They are groomed 100%. They are picked long time ago. You have to plan ahead to maintain control. You cannot maintain control if you don't. So they got 150-year plans, 100-year plans, 200 years. And plan A, B, C, D. If this happens, if this happens, if this happens. This route, this route. Now we got all these routes you can take. So, yeah, you can, got the great, really great minds working for them. They still sell out. They'll sell out humanity. Those lower psychopaths that work for the very wealthy, psycho and sociopathic families. And there you have it. They protect, they hate each other. The lower grovel at the higher. They want the position. They want what it offers more than it has. Now that it got me this far. Right. But what are you gonna do about it, Polly? Yeah, well, been out of work for a while. I have my own personal social issues. I've seen doctors for, been on medication for. It's been hard to function. So I don't want to get too personal. And it's made it hard to function for me. And for me to function. And today's system. And I went to the give up stage after my last uh, bout with what I was struggling with. That's hampering. That's hampered my functionality in the system. And it has to do with transportation, and so I'm stuck right now. So I figured I'd start doing videos. What I got to lose? Yeah, I had thought about it and thought about it. Making a video here and there. And so finally, I guess I need a little courage. I'm a little shy. So the world, yeah, it's all upside down, topsy turvy. Just because we do not understand that our aggregate, our aggregate population doesn't understand or won't believe, and they say belief is a stop point to it. Closes the mind because then I'm not gonna hear anything else. But I know with the other side, I'm when I watch the news, it is expected of me to believe them. So I already know that. What I learned in high school history is that it is expected to be the truth, and I already know what they think the truth is. So I look the other way, and I've been looking opposite of they be getting to space and the Earth and every category. Wars, money, space, Earth, religion, um, the little snippets of history from your early schooling and documentaries in the TV age, etc., etc. Mostly almost 100% propaganda. For the winners, right? They write the histories. And they used our grandma and grandpa, our parents, they built an empire. They had great lives. They worked. They worked hard. You know, they got well. The people had to stand up to them at the turn of the century. Finally, with the Union, so it was a problem. I mean, the people were being worked to death still. Very long, no regulation. You know, no protection from exploitation. And from Alan Watt, he was saying that they put in the only reason, the main reason we started getting the sanitation, indoor plumbing, etc., because they needed people to live longer, because they needed the workers. The empire building, great, you know, it's been fast. It's only been 100, 200 years, really fast, hey. And they built it up, and they transferred it to China, you know? And there it is, right? So they used this to build up China. I had said this and the other. But we lived through it. which is not everybody did. Not everybody has. And we had lived through that transfer. We saw it happen gradually, gradually, gradually. And then the family unit had deteriorated, and I don't want to. It's hard to touch into the women thing, the feminism. That's really because I women are people too, and should have the choice. But on a biological standpoint, you can't deny it, and so it's got to that. Women becoming successful breadwinners, etc. So it's got to that tipping point though, where we're not. They say we're not making enough babies, so. And it's catch-22. It's dollar is worth less and less, even though it's up against the other. Because just compared to their dollar, it's got to be that less and less. Comparing it to that or whatever. But in certain sectors, it's expensive to live, right? In America, depending, especially the rent. So, just in those certain things, the food went up, the rents went up, housing went up. Then it took a dive, but only certain people could take advantage of. They had enough money to. Look, so many were hurt in that bubble, in that mortgage thing, and those that had that free money, they bought it, all that real estate. And so too bad we couldn't take advantage at the time. But I guess it's happening again. They're giving out loans to Joe Blow. They've gotten almost no choice now. It's been 10 years. Who are they giving out loans to? They moved the goalposts back. And now nobody qualifies as it was hurt. And the less high paying work that, it's tough demographically for people. And we have graduates and postgraduates working at fast food. 30-year-olds average at Walmart, So I'm just saying, I try not to get too much into economics. It gets into a big argument. Free enterprise, don't borrow the money in the currency. Free enterprise, don't have the government borrow the money in the currency into circulation. I'm sorry. Because then you're always going to be subservient to the lender. You can always have your hand out. And then you're going to have to meet demands for whatever. And that's where their power is. They even pay back the interest on the bonds, the Federal Reserve. So what do we need them for? They're not there to get rich off the interest anymore. So obviously there's power involved in the machinations of what goes on in Washington. Boom. Forget about it. Well, if you didn't hear me on this video, I'll be mildly upset if it didn't turn out. So yes, Dave, you don't want to borrow from them, though. Slander the hell out of you to the world, bomb the shit out of you, send some terrorist proxy, or you knock down a building. That's a good idea. And yeah, pretty heartless. It's pretty straight up uh, demon in the flesh, psychopathic, sociopathic. We'll see what happens. And then we got the AI. I saw a couple commercials on Sunday from Microsoft AI for business and IBM Watson AI for business. So that was just, I think that was the first time I had seen. So I guess I wasn't too thrilled about that. Of course, it's gonna be like sound like the best thing since sliced bread, right? That's how they do it. We're all got cell phones and personal computers now, right? And it seems like the world was never without them. And especially if you don't remember or weren't alive when they weren't. I still have the memory. It's, it's just something that's really, you just think about. You remember that there was a cutoff. It wasn't always, like life is almost a guarantee on the planet, right? Something guaranteed like the air. You know, it wasn't always like air. The Federal Reserve wasn't always like air. Or, I don't know. I don't know if there's gravity. I, I'll get criticized both ways. I guess you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Compelling arguments. But, yeah, the Federal Reserve hasn't been there like gravity has. Or density, whatever way. Because I know the Masonic gang's running the space show. And they've been in every revolution on both sides with the financiers of both sides. So, yeah, I gotta trust them now. To me, to them, I'm irrelevant. I don't exist. And doesn't matter really if I believe them or not, I guess. Because they do what they're gonna do. You can make a video. At least you can make a video and say they're full of shit. You know. But then you ask another question: does your free speech matter? Have you asked that question? Does it matter? Agenda keeps on going, whatever directions, different areas. So, yeah, I guess you talk to your blue in the face. Stand out with signs to your blue in the face. It could happen. Take cooperation with many people. This Federal Reserve, fiat is like a standing army. It would take many people to stop using it or vote against somebody that would be against it. And I guess we know what happened. I'm not totally sure about that too, because the gang is involved. The Kennedys are involved in the gang. The Onassis are involved in the gang. So whether he got shot or not, but whatever happened, they put the kibosh. Wasn't a hoax for an example to others that they choose to be there, that they choose who gets elected, and give the coverage to the voting public on television. It's a big weapon. You know, people are tired. Yeah, get tired of their TV now. They're full-time YouTubers. I'm about a full-time YouTuber. But they'll still go back to the television to watch a speech of some front man puppet for your hope, your hope and your tragedy. Hope and tragedy. I didn't even have to read the book. Those two words, they say it all. How the controlling factions of the system use the hope against you. And then they pull the rug out, you know, economically. In our country, it's been economics and the warmongering. It just, hopefully, I still got some time left on the earth, so hopefully you don't get bombed. I'm hoping before I die, or they'll just let the infrastructure crumble, and while it goes automated. I hate to see that. Yeah, it would be horrendous. Or the grid goes down. Yeah, I'd rather have that. Or just, you can't do the internet no more or something. There's no, back to the 80s. There would be some chaos, but they would put them back where they put us back where they want us. You know, shut it down, right? The Goyim no. So I plan to put my 2 cents in there, talk it up a little bit, and I appreciate it. Whoever bears to listen. All right, take care.